call it. Excuse me. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the candidate forum tonight. Brady City Council candidate forum for the candidates for place 4 on the Brady City Council. And with this candidate forum, early voting for the November 4th election began today and will continue through October 31st. Voters across the state of Texas are going to be voting all across the state for 17 proposed amendments to the Texas Constitution. Also, Brady residents right here, excuse me, going to be voting for one of 4 candidates to take the place 4 seat on the Brady City Council, a vacant seat created by the resignation of Felix Gomez for business reasons. So now we have 4 candidates. We started with 5, and I'll mention that one candidate has announced that he is withdrawing his name from consideration for the election. Jordan Boggs indicated today that he is withdrawing. So we have 5 candidates for Brady City Council. They are Roland O'Brien, who will be our first speaker this evening, Vicki Roddy, who will be a second on the candidate tonight, and Raymond Ledesma, who will be the third candidate to be heard from this evening. One candidate, Tyler Ashcraft, will not be here. He can't get away from work, and so he will not be here this evening. We'll see if we can find an opportunity to get him on. I want to welcome you to the candidate forum. It's different this time around. Usually we do it in person here and on the radio, which we're doing again this year. It's on the radio, but it's also new this year is it's on KNEL TV, something we started this fall with high school football across the area for KNEL, and so the candidate forum will also be our first entry into something besides sports, and that is for the candidate forum for tonight. And it's on KNEL TV. It's on the website at knelradio.com. If you're tuning in the website and what you need to do is click on the Brady Sports box on the right-hand side of the home screen. That'll get you the video for tonight. Also, our video is on KNEL's Roku app and also on YouTube. So we have several opportunities to take a look at it and watch and see these candidates. It's the opportunity to take a look at them, see what they look like, look them in the eye, more or less, and see who they are and what you think. And so we're very pleased to be able to do that, to make this sort of increase the scope of what we're doing. The other thing that we're doing new this time around is that we have always in the past offered the opportunity for people to ask questions of the candidates. We ask them to write their questions out. We take them, review them, and then I'll ask the questions. This time we're adding to that the ability to invite you to text your questions. If you're sitting out there at home watching this or listening to it on the radio, you have a question, you can text us your question, and we'll ask the question here. And that phone number is 325-240-8094. 325-240-8094 for the text your question to us during the evening, and we'll take them and get them all viewed and get the questions asked. Each candidate, we will, as we said, we will go in order of the people who are in their order on the ballot, and each candidate will have the opportunity to talk about who they are, why they're running, and why they'd like you to vote for them. And so we'll give them the opportunity to do that. There's no time limitation. No bell's going to go off for the candidates. Generally, they sort of always edit themselves down more than I would. So they'll have the opportunity to speak however long they want. When everybody is finished, then we'll ask the questions and go through that. Some questions may apply to all candidates. Some may be specific. We'll just see how that goes. And that is the process. And for that, as we said, we have 5 candidates. Started with 5. We have 4 candidates still. 3 of the candidates are with us this evening. First up will be Roland O'Brien. Roland, you want to come on up? And we'll get started with it. And again, we're happy to have everybody with us, especially happy to be here on KNEL TV. It's sort of an interesting thing to keep talking about here on KNEL. So come on.
Thank you, Mr. Ferris. Good evening. My name is Roland Wayne O'Brien. Everybody in town pretty much knows me by Wayne because that's how I was raised. And actually, I was raised in Melvin. A little about me: raised in Melvin, graduated high school here in Brady. Left for 1985, went in the Border Patrol. I did almost 30 years, came home, and when I retired, I moved home. This is home to me. It will always be home to me. Brady is very important, and it's near and dear to my heart. One of the reasons I'm running for city council is we have lots of things that we could do better as a city and as a city government. Some of the important stuff: streets, crime. We need to get more businesses into Brady. We need some type of industry for a tax base. Our tax base is way, way, way too low. Of course, our property taxes are also fairly expensive, I think. We need to get our property taxes for individual homeowners down, and you do that by building a tax base of industry and businesses. I think we could work as a council to attract these businesses and industries. We have to do it smart. They have to be, and I shouldn't say clean, but clean. We don't want a metal recycling place, things like that, but we do need industry. And the reason I ran for running for city council is I have the best interest of Brady at heart, and that's because this is home. Always has been, always will be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roland. Our next candidate is Vicki Roddy. Vicki?
Thank you. I think that before I kind of introduce myself, I would like to say thank you, Lynn, and I would like to say thank you for those who are here, those who are listening, and then I would also like to encourage people to pay real close attention to getting out to vote. It is extremely important in our country that we try to get out and vote, and we have a voice. We definitely need to make that voice heard. And so I would, all of us, all of the ones that are running here, would highly encourage everybody to get out and vote. My name is Vicki Roddy. I have, my family was all from here, have a long lineage family from Brady, Texas, McCullough County. And my family has been in, I think, community service from 1948 on. My great-grandmother, she started the first nursing home, the first registered nursing home in McCullough County. It was on the north side of town in Davidson Street, and that sparked, I think, an interest in my family. My dad's family also was very active in the community. My husband's family has always been active in the community. So I think that I was raised in to be service-oriented, to be honest, truthful, and look at the things that are about us and what's good and wholesome in our community. And I was raised in the military, came back here, and been married nearly 50 years, have a daughter and 3 grandchildren. And through that time frame, we have been very active in businesses. We have had 4 or 5 businesses besides farming and ranching that we worked all over the state of Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Louisiana. We dealt with lots of different groups of companies, types of companies. But in the downturn, there's always a downturn to business, especially when you're in the oil and gas industry. There's always a downturn. So in the downturn, I would always look to find something else to do besides working with my husband. And so I worked for the city of Brady in the 90s. I helped, I did lots of legwork to help bring Borden in and get that started. It was originally supposed to be 3 phases, and And it, they did successfully one phase. And I worked for a political subdivision, so I went to Austin a lot. We did a lot of lobbying. We actually helped create some of the water districts that you have now. And so environmental, it was all based on environmental and the promise of water for a very long time. Now, we know that God will provide water for us, but that doesn't mean that we're not supposed to do our part as well. And so so I had a lot of fun little things like that to do. My education is basically been in law and accounting, and so you utilize those things in everything that you do. And as far as looking at the city as a whole, I think our obvious is always around us. We see the things that aggravate us every day about our community. We see the things that everybody wants to talk about. And so we know those things. But planning a future to deal with those things is also important. When we look at the truth of something, when we look at the future of something, when we look at no matter how small, when I go out and I talk to people, and I talk to a lot of people because right now I'm working with the McCullough County Long-Term Recovery Group. I'm also on the board of the Resource Center. I'm on the board of the clergy. I am working also with the Coleman Community Activist Action Group. And so I'm seeing a lot of people. I'm driving around this town. I am stopping at people's homes. We're visiting, and you're collecting information. You're collecting thoughts. You're collecting ideas. You're seeing people's hearts. You're seeing their visions. You're seeing their downturns. Even with this flood, we've seen quite a few people that have struggled, and so you see their downturns. And what it reminds you of, and I think that's the reason why I decided to run, is that what it reminds you of is that it sparks your heart. It sparks your hope for the community. It sparks your vision, your idea of going out and collecting. The charter, a home rule charter, is about creating what is normal and usual and customary for a community. And I think that you have to, when you start visiting with people, you begin to get a thread of things that begin to look like a normal and usual and customary group of people that have pride in what they're doing. They have hope in what they have. And sure, we want to see the obvious fixed, but they also want to see it come out and play out. And so I think that when I was looking at that and visiting with people and looking at the heart of the community, it just sparked reasons why it should be important to us, reasons why we should be getting out, we should be listening to people, we should be bringing their thoughts and their concerns to the table. As a city council group, there should be no question that we should not address it, we shouldn't talk about, we shouldn't look at, we shouldn't help that person, that citizen, work through. And so I think that, I think for me, that's what's important. Being out in the community, talking to people, bringing that to the council and saying, hey, no matter how big or no matter how small, it's still important to our community. It's still a thing to our community. They still want an answer to it. They want an action on it. Even if the action doesn't come out exactly the way they want it, they still want to see an action. They want to see something happening. And so I think that that's what drives me to run for this position and to be honored to take the community's thoughts, pluses, minuses. It takes all of it for us to move forward. The thing is that we have to be in forward motion. I would love for my grandchildren to come back here. I would love for my great-grandchildren to come here. I would love for people that I don't even know, children that I don't even know, families that I don't even know, to build that place where they feel comfortable coming to. And that's all out of communication, that's all out of desires, that's all out of forward motion, and a lot of it is just out of listening and then good discussion, and then getting back to our citizens about the things that are close to their heart. And so for that, that's what I look to achieve the most.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Roddy, with us this evening. And next up is Raymond Ledesma. While Raymond's coming up, I'll remind you that if you were trying to find the forum and on the KNEL website at knelradio.com, I will remind you to click on the Brady Sports box, and that will get you the forum here this morning. Also, this afternoon, a reminder that we are taking questions. If you want to text us your question, 325-240-8094 if you have questions for the candidates. Raymond Ledesma.
Thank you, Lance. Good evening. My name is Raymond Ledesma. I have lived in Brady majority of my life. A couple of years gone, just jobs. My family's from here. Grandparents lived here. Fathers live here. Kids live here. Grandkids live here. So, you know, Brady is home, like Wayne said. It's what I consider home, and it's where I will always consider home. But what made me decide to run was, with my background, I've worked in sand mines. The ones that were here, when they shut down, of course I had to leave. Well, I was a plant manager there. So dealing with budgets, you know, you have to sit down and figure out which is the best way to go. I was taught from a really good senior supervisor that I had that he said, you cannot cut your way to prosperity. You have to find ways to become more efficient and effective. You do that by getting the hourly guys involved in what they're doing. If they feel involved, they know their opinions matter and you're being heard. He says when you start cutting things, something suffers, whether it's their morale or whether it's something in the plant, because a plant to me is just like the city. If it's running effectively, it's going to be better for everybody. So, you know, and just I call Brady home. People have asked me several times, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, you know, I deal with hundreds of guys every week, week in and day out, hourly, dealing with their problems. Some of them are, I'm the kind of guy, hey, my door's always open. You want to come in and talk to me about personal issues? I know I'm your boss, but that happens. They get into situations that it's going to affect their job. And then that in turn affects what you got going on at the plant, or just to say, and the city. So just going forward, I know a lot of people don't realize, but I do deal with a lot of budgets even now. I have 4 individuals that work for me. I'm a territory manager currently for Martin Engineering. We have to sit down. I have to sit down and tell them how much they can spend, where they can stay, where they can go, how much they got to go on this, and then turn around and say, I need you to sell this much, do this much. So, and it's constantly day-to-day business. It's what I do. So, I mean, I really didn't have a whole lot to say other than I look forward to helping Brady become a more effective and efficient town because we did lose a lot of industries when the plants left. We did lose a lot of tax abatement that we had. Yes, we have the wind farms, and yes, we do. We missed out on a limestone plant that wanted to come here a few years ago. I actually met the gentleman that was going to put that in here, and I had a lot of words with him, and he was like, we're really looking forward to doing this in Brady, but it didn't work out. So just going forward, and that's kind of where I am when I see the city of Brady is let's find a way to help the employees that we have, because there is a really good group of employees that we have here. Let's give them the tools they need to do their job more effective. As a council, that's where we help to go to the manager, to the mayor, to let them know, look, we're here for these guys. Let's give them the tools they need, whether it's the fire department, EMS, water department. You know, there's numerous things that we can do to help get these guys the tools they need, the training they need, to help them be more effective in their job. So, but that's about all I've got to say tonight, so.
We appreciate that, and we appreciate the three of you being here this evening. As I said, there is a fourth candidate, Tyler Ashcraft, who could not be here tonight, and then the fifth candidate, Jordan Boggs, has announced that he is withdrawing from the race. Got two questions for everybody, all three of you, and it applies to it, and it's sort of in the category of very basic questions, and we'll ask two of them. I'll tell you what they are, both questions, before we get to it. And that the first question is, what is your vision for the city? You know, what's your vision for the city of Brady? What is it you want to see happen? And then the second question that goes along with that, so what is the first thing you would like to accomplish if you're elected to the council? What is it you want to see happen? What's your vision, and what's the first thing you'd like to accomplish on the council? Roland, you're first.
What I'd like to see, my vision for the city of Brady is for the city of Brady to grow. That's very important. We've been stagnant. We've actually probably lost population in the last 5 years. The sand plants leaving was huge, and that was a very bad thing for the city of Brady. Even though most of the sand plants were in the county, the employees mostly lived in the city, so that dropped our population, and that's huge. We need to attract, once again, we need to attract some businesses and some industry here to get the tax base up and to grow our population. My vision for the city of Brady is pretty much like the things I'd like to see. I'd like to see Brady grow. I'd like to see Brady prosper. I'd like to see Brady more beautiful. That's a big thing. We look around and we see eyesores coming into town. Driving around town, you see eyesores. I would like to see that cleaned up. Brady Brady is a beautiful, beautiful city, but it could be more physically beautiful, and it takes money, and it takes time. And I do know about money and time. Part of my duties when I worked for the government was I was a section chief at our National Firearms and Tactical Training Unit, where I had a budget of $200 million. So but budget was kind of my deal, and I had probably 400 or 500 employees. The city of Brady has, I think somebody told me, 100 employees a while ago and a budget of $28 million, which is actually pretty big. I never would have thought Brady had 100 employees. That really surprised me. But we need to get Brady beautiful again, or more beautiful, because it is beautiful, at least to me. Thank you.
Vicki Roddy?
Yes, sir. I think that we have to, I think, first off, you have to take a look at where we're at. I don't think you can not give credit to after the sand plants closed and then we had COVID. I think you cannot give credit to what growth has happened in McCulloch County and the city of Brady. You have to give some credit to that. It has held its own fairly well. We were gone from here for about 15 years and moved to several states, several different places, all within our line of work. And coming back to Brady, we didn't see a whole lot different than what we saw everywhere else. Everything past COVID was struggling. Everything past COVID is going to continue to struggle for a little while until the United States gets some footing. even though we're in this community and we're in this small pocket, and as Wayne said, it is a beautiful, absolutely positively beautiful community. And he is correct in his statement that there are some cleanup, there is some things that we need to do, but you also have to give credit to the work that's already been done. When I drive around, I see people that have bought homes. They're beginning to work on them. They're beginning to clean them up. I see hope in the idea of there is a shift coming. If you look at what's going on with commerce out of Austin, then you learn that there is a shift that is moving this way. There is changes. There has been some growth. There's going to continue to be some growth. What pace is it's going to be, that we're not sure. What is it going to look like because of technology? We're not sure of that. But what we have to be sure of is that we want to be in the game. We want to be a part of whatever shift that will be moving towards us. When they opened up the Hill Country to include Brown County and Hamilton and all up in that area, and they expanded that from what we always grew up, it just being down below us, now it is all around us. Well, then when the state started selling that, then all of a sudden, Llano, Mason, McCullough County, San Saba County, all of those counties became key counties to play in this future growth. And so I think you have to look at where can you find your niche in where this growth is going, because make no mistake, it is coming this way and it is going to grow and it is going to change. It may not change the way we had envisioned it of what we used to living back 20, 30 years ago. It's nothing in the United States is going to look like that again. So what is it that where can we find our niche? That is what we need to be looking at. We have had people come in. I'm dealing with some people right now that are in this recovery, this long-term recovery, that moved here because they thought the area was perfect for them. It was a beautiful little area, and they could work from home. We cannot underestimate the amount of people that work from home and they pay taxes here, they shop here, they do things here. So I think that we have to look at what we have and the beauty of what we have. Then from there, we have to look at the trajectory of where our future goes. Not only what do we want it to look like, but also what is going to be forced on us. There will be things that will be forced on us. That's just going to happen. It always happens. And so we have to look at and be honest and truthful about what that might look like and make projections for that. When in all of the businesses that we had short-term, mid-term, and long-term projections. We had goals, we had ideas, we had thoughts, places that we thought we wanted to go, networking that we wanted to do, conversations that we wanted to have. Did that always come out perfect? No, it did not. But we still had something in play all of the time. And the city of Brady has to have something in play all of the time. And we can't, it's not going to look like the status quo. And so we have to start, as citizens of this county and this city, we have to start thinking and projecting and coming to our city council and saying, hey, these are new ideas, these are things, this is the future. Can we get a piece of that? And then as a council, we need to sit down and think, can we achieve that? Can we do that? When I had employees, they would come to me oftentimes and I would say, okay, because we were highly regulated by Homeland Security, and I would say, tell me how you're going to defend that. And when you tell me how you're going to defend it, then we can put that into play. And I think that's the same thing here. We need to look at a lot of things, see how we can defend it, how we can project it into the future, and how we can make it something viable for the community. And so I think those are the things that we have to look at. I think we cannot put ourselves in a box. We cannot look at the way things were in the 70s, 80s, maybe even the 90s. I think we have to look at everything like it is right now, and then see what we have right now and see how we can make that go forward. And as far as the things that I would like to do if I was to be elected, the very first things that I would do is take the time to get to know. When I worked for the city of Brady before, there were 16 different departments, and I knew every department. And I knew how every department functioned because I helped do the budgets for every department. And so I think that nothing changes. You have to know the inner workings of what you have been asked to help work with and share with the citizens. And so in order to do that, you have to go visit your city employees. You have to you have a new Heart of Texas 2040 plan. You had a new budget that came out last year. I've read both. I've dissected both. You had a comprehensive assessment matrix plan done. I have dissected that. I've gone out already to gather information to begin to dissect it and separate it out to help me understand what the roads look like. If I am elected, I want to see what the roads look like. And all the different lanes that we play in, what do they look like? And how can you converge all of those lanes to be that future and that vision of the citizens and that strength and that hope and all of the things that make us want to live in Brady? I mean, that's really what it boils down to, is we have chosen to live here. And there is a reason why. And there is a reason why we want to see our visions moving forward be the ones that we want them to be as a community.
Raymond Ledesma? Yours.
So, vision for Brady. You know, that's a pretty broad question, but it does have a lot of validity to it, because just like everybody's been saying, this is a beautiful town. I live here. We all chose to live here, and everybody that's here is interested in what's going to happen with this town going forward. So the vision for me, you know, to start off with, is kind of for it to be, you know, a prosperous town, and secondly, to be a safe town, not only just for the citizens of Brady, but for all employees that work here, for contractors that work here. It's got to be a safe place for those, because no matter what, you know, that's going to be my foremost thing is the safety of the citizens of Brady, and from there it should take care of itself on it being prosperous. As if I was elected, the first thing I'd like to see to do is I would like to, like she said, learn every aspect of the city. I want to sit down with each council member we already have, the city manager, the employees, from the top to bottom, learn what they do, figure out what irks them, you know, because they're the guys that are in it every hour, every day, dealing with the issues, whether it's, you know, the water, electricity, you know, the whole infrastructure of Brady. It all boils down to each individual hourly employee making it the best it can be. And so as far as what I'd like to do when I first get in would be to learn that, and so I could start helping them make decisions that will impact the bottom line positively for Brady in a safe manner. And that's about all I have on that one.
Well, I thank all of our three candidates that are with us this evening for running, first of all, for signing up and taking the chance and putting it all out there and being willing to serve as a member of the Brady City Council and wanting to serve. And this is for Place 4 on the Brady City Council. And I appreciate you being here this evening and appreciate your comments. And I appreciate you being part of a new, for us, a new era when we have this on TV. We call it KNEL TV, as well as on the radio. We will replay the audio version of this next Tuesday at about noon on 1490 KNEL AM. You can watch the whole thing again if you want to see how it went. It will be available on our website. We'll have a link set up. I'm not exactly sure where it's at, but it'll be there by tomorrow. A link set up so you can go back and watch the entire format for the debate for this evening. That's not a debate, just a candidate forum. It's been a good forum. I really appreciate the folks being here and your comments from everybody who are here. So with that, I will remind you that early voting is underway and will go through the 31st. Election Day is the 4th of November, and we'll get there, and it will be there. So appreciate that. Also, remind you that this is the first first program for us to be outside the area of sports on the KNEL TV. We will be continuing that sort of trend coming up on Wednesday. The Brady McCullough County Chamber of Commerce will be hosting its quarterly Good News Lunch, and we'll be there to bring you that on KNEL TV as well. And so we're looking forward to that. That's from 12 to 1, and you can tune in for that one. It's live video streaming as well as being on the radio for that as well. And I couldn't forget that coming up again Friday night is high school football. The Brady Bulldogs go to Early. The Mason Punchers go to Holland. We have both those games on live video streaming. And it's a new adventure, and it comes with its challenges. It's just like everything else does. So we're very pleased with it. Appreciate everybody who came out this evening. Appreciate the candidates for being a part of our forum. And thank you, and good night for all of us at KNEL.